Hey y'all, today's reading is a special report because we are going to find out what will happen to your money, career, and business if Kamala Harris becomes President of the United States. I'm excited. If you happen to be new here, my name is Sean, and I am so happy that you are joining us. Even if you're not new here, you will notice that we are in a new location because I have, as many of you know, moved back to North Carolina, which is my home state, from California, which was not home. So, for today's reading, we're going to take a look at your money, career, and finances like we always do, your business if you happen to have one. But we're going to look at it through the lens of what happens during the next 4 years if now Vice President Kamala Harris becomes the next president of the United States. If you've been following politics, have you been following the politics? If you've been following politics at all, as I do quite obsessively, you have heard Kamala talk about her opportunity economy, which she wants to introduce for America, particularly to help America's middle class. Now, I am not here to be her pundit. I am not here as an extension of her, though I wish I was, but I am here to help you see what happens if she is able to put this opportunity economy in place and what it would mean for you. Things we've heard her mention in the presidential debates, in her campaign speeches, in her rallies. Is it realistic? And if so, how will it affect your bottom line? So, without further ado, let us get started. As you can see today, I have put together 4 piles for you to choose from. Each of these decks is going to appear in every reading. However, you might find that you are drawn more to one than the other, which could mean that your primary messages about your personal finances under the Kamala Harris administration are in that particular reading for you. However, you might find that you are drawn to multiple piles, which could mean that you have messages for different areas of your personal finance in different readings. So this deck is the Money Manifestation, a Wealth Oracle. That's like literally the entire title deck. This one is deck number 2 is Universal Weight Tarot. Deck number 3 is the Tinseltown Tarot. And then our final deck, number 4, is the Wild Muse Oracle. I've also placed a piece of citrine crystal on top of each. That is the Crystal for Prosperity. So if you prefer to choose your reading based on crystals, those are there as well. Once you've decided which pile you are drawn to, scroll down to the description box below where you will find timestamps taking you to your specific reading or readings, and I will see you there. Hey y'all, if you found this reading today or if this reading found you, it's because there is a message for you about your finances for the next 4 years that it's important for you to find out, particularly if you are someone who doesn't typically follow politics and yet this reading came into your feed. So we're going to start by pulling from the I don't even know why I said wild. We're going to start by pulling from the Money Manifestation Wealth Oracle. Oh, I know wealth because they're sitting right by each other. And so I went to look at one and ended up looking at the other. Let's find out what you can expect for your personal finances over the next 4 years. Decision. The first step to achieving your dreams is committing to and making them a reality. Okay, so this feels as though there's a little bit of prep work that you get to do right now. And then over the next 4 years, you're going to see that come into place. Or it's possible that it even means it's during that 4-year time frame that you are going to make a firm decision around your finances. This has very strong self-employment, business owner vibes to me, for sure. Or leaving the field or company you already work for to go towards something that's more in line with what it is you would really like to be doing, or in a way you'd like to do it. You've got the Lover's card. Interesting. I'm going to pull a few more cards. The Lover's card. We have the Page of Pentacles. How is your... Oh, and look at this at the back of the deck for that one. We have the Emperor card. I'm going to go ahead and let you see that. Because I'm definitely feeling starting of your own business for you for the next 4 years. And I'll break it down for you in just a second, you know, and how I'm seeing that in these cards. But all of these together, I'm definitely getting that vibe. Then we have Leap of Faith. All right. Yeah, for sure. Okay. So during the next 4 years, one major change that's going to happen with your finances is definitely a beneficial one. And it's going to be you having the ability and making the commitment to starting your own business. Now, for some of you, during a part of that 4 year period, and maybe it's the first 2 years, and why that phrase just almost came out of my mouth, 2 years, it will be deciding what type of business to start. You may be still trying to figure out what kind of business you feel you would be confident doing or competent doing. One of the things that I want to remind you is we build the confidence and the competence over time. For some of you, though, however, for most of you, I'm getting that it's just a decision to actually step out and have your own business that is going to be taking place now. And then during that 4 year period, you'll be acting on that decision. You'll be seeing the fruits or starting the steps, starting to build that business. For those of you who don't yet know, like you've kind of played with the idea of starting your own business, but you don't yet know what that might be. I just did a reading, I want to say a week ago. No, gosh, it was just yesterday. Holy crap. Or day before yesterday. Okay, so it just posted day before yesterday on the channel, and it's business ideas that would be perfect for you or something like that. That's not the exact title, but look at the first week of October. If today is the 4th, it premiered on the channel on October 2nd. If you're seeing this like way after, then October 2nd is when it premiered. And in that reading, I pull on some ideas that might be good businesses for you. So yeah, definitely making that decision. I'm also getting that you will be partnering with someone in this business. So a big part of it for you might be you've known what kind of business you wanted to create or to start or even to grow if you're someone who already has your own business. But either creating it or growing it would require skills that you don't feel you have and also don't feel an interest in attaining. That's okay. Like sometimes we tend to feel like we need to do all the things in a business, but you don't. So you're going to meet the right partner for you, the perfect partner for you for this business that you will be creating. You're also going to be expanding your knowledge. We see that here with this Page of Pentacles. You're going to be expanding your knowledge on the, again, possibly the skill set, probably the field itself, the industry itself that you want to have this business, or the type of business you want to have. And this is so important because sometimes we will think, oh, I want to start such and such a business and I've got these skills over here that fit for that business, and we just jump and do it. And what I learned the very hard way is there's so much more to it than just creating and putting it out there. There are things to learn about how that particular field works, or whether or not there is a market for what it is you want to do, or when that market is strongest. Like, in knowing things like what time of year you that kind of business would be most successful can help you decide when to actually launch it or start it. Okay, so getting a little bit of knowledge around, or getting more knowledge, increased knowledge around this type of business is definitely part of what's going to happen for you during this
Kamala Harris administration, and you're going to be able to take this leap of faith, right? While having complete control. These feel like two very different energies, and it's extremely interesting to me that they're both depicted in red. You are going to take the leap of faith. You are going to start the business. For some of you, I'm getting that you're going to start multiple businesses. You're going to do the first one, and it's not going to work the way you wanted it to, or the way you thought it would, or you're going to find that you didn't like it, and that is not uncommon. I really want you to hear me say that, okay? Don't be discouraged by hearing, oh, it's not going to work. No, that is not uncommon. Most entrepreneurs, most business owners have several different types of businesses before they land on the one that really works for them. And it's because there are things that we learn about being business owners, in addition to things that we learn about the kind of work we're doing, or things that we learn about the field that we're doing that work in, okay? So definitely the leap of faith will be happening. You're going to feel very ready to do it, and you're going to stop letting other people talk you out of it, or even talking yourself out of it. You're going to take the leap. And one of the things that's going to help you feel empowered to take the leap is that tax credit that Kamala Harris is going to be giving to small business owners. It's a $50,000 tax credit to help people who want to start their own businesses be able to do so. I believe there has already been a tax credit out there for new business owners, and it's only like $5,000. And, you know, it sounds like I'm turning my nose up at that. And I am, because depending on the kind of business you have, that $5,000 may not make a huge difference for you. Certainly may not be the kind of money that would enable you to go, you know, fully into that business. Some businesses require more money to start than others. And so being able to recoup that back in the form of a tax credit would be invaluable to many of you. Definitely, I'm getting a sense of part of the learning that you should be doing as you prep for starting your business, and even as you have begun to flesh that business out, or to take steps towards creating that business, is leadership training. And starting to feel comfortable being the boss, okay? So there are many ways you can do this. You can find books that are specifically about being a leader. You can find books that are specifically about managing other people. You may or may not be starting a business that requires you to manage others, but you still need to feel confident and comfortable being the decision maker. So getting in touch with that side of yourself that can be in control and can be in charge, particularly if it does not seem like something that feels natural to you at this point, is really important for you, okay? Because you're going to be most successful in your business as you own the fact that it is yours. And I did not mean to make a pun there, but own that you own it. All right. So you get to envision what you want it to look like. You get to decide between two vendors to work with. You get to decide between two employees. You get to decide whether or not to keep a customer. You get to decide your pricing. You get to decide what to offer, whether it's product or service. You get to decide what types of products. You get to decide what types of services. You get to decide if you want to stop offering certain products or services because you no longer like them, or you found that it's not cost effective, or whatever the thing is. The key here is you starting to feel comfortable with the idea of being the one who has the final say, not only in trusting your judgment and being able to do it, but also knowing that you have the right to have the final say because you are the boss. This is your business. All right. So that's what's coming for you with this brand new administration, this Kamala Harris administration, should she become president of the United States. If you want to find out more about what Kamala's opportunity economy looks like, definitely check out the presidential debate if you haven't seen it already. It was actually quite interesting this year, very entertaining actually. So her debate against Donald Trump, her rally speeches, she's still doing them even at the time of my recording this. So today is October 4th. There are rally speeches that are already out there. There are more rally speeches to come if you want to watch them live in real time. I totally get excited and jazzed up about that. And then there are policy speeches that she's done. The one that was specifically the economic policy speech, the most recent one at the time of my recording this, was done in Pittsburgh. Again, she makes what she's talking about, what she wants to offer, what she wants to create for middle class Americans, very easy for us all to understand. And there's something in her nature that is extremely genial. And I say easy to understand, and then I use that word. But anyway, she's a fun lady, right? She's fun and she's smart. And so if you're someone who doesn't typically listen to political speeches because you think politics is boring, I guarantee you won't find her speeches boring. You also won't find them hard to understand. You will get very inspired by what you hear there. And particularly knowing now what you know about what is coming for you in the next 4 years, you're going to have a business of your own. It's going to be a business that decision. Sometimes I'm slow. So yes, this was the first card that came up. And then later on, we talked about this whole thing with you being comfortable being the decider. So yeah, it's not just deciding to have the business, but it's really a big part of what's going to happen for you is the growth and feeling comfortable being the one who decides things, for sure. And this is going to manifest itself through the creation of and sustaining of your business, or even deciding, oh wait, this business model that I tried doesn't work for me, but let me try this other one here. And listen, guys, I've done that so many times. And I have some businesses that I have stuck with for decades, and then I have some that are new. So anyway, for sure, I will remember to put links to the economic speech in this description box, and also a link to the debate. I'm going to put both of those in the description box for you so that you can do your own. I'm not even going to call it research because it's actually quite fun. Trust me. I'm not just saying that because I'm a nerd. All right. This is what I have for you today. Good luck. I can't wait to see what you create. And if you already have an idea of a business that you want to start or you've been thinking about starting for a while, tell me what that is in the comments. I want to send you the good vibes. I want to clap for you. I want to cheer you. I want to help you make that happen. Take care. Hey y'all. So if this message found you today, or if you happen to find this message, it's because there is a very important thing you need to know about your personal finances for the next 4 years. This is particularly true if you're someone who doesn't typically follow politics, and yet you found this reading. So let us start. We're going to jump right in. We're going to start with the Money Manifestation, a Wealth Oracle, to get your first card. Oh, wow. This one really wanted to jump out. We got Daydream. Having your head in the clouds can be a source of great inspiration, but be careful when your fantasies become an escape from reality. Interesting. All right, let's get some more cards before I begin to interpret for you. But I'm getting a little bit of a nudge on what this might be. Your next card is the Fool. Look at that, Daydream and the Fool together. Seems very fitting. This one really wants to come out. We have the Nine of Wands. Looking at the next 4 years and what you can expect with your finances. Daydream, the Fool, Nine of Wands. Time to move on. So right away, it says here with Daydream, having your head in the clouds can be a source of great inspiration, but be careful when your fantasies become an escape from reality. And then we have the Fool, who definitely looks as though he is trying to escape something, right? Typically, we interpret the Fool to be, someone who is starting a brand new journey, but we never think about the fact that he's leaving something in order to start that new thing. And what I'm getting look how cool this is. We have the Fool here, and then there he is again right there. Anyway, I'm getting for you that a big part of what is happening for you is a turning of the page in your finances over this next 4 years. Okay. You're someone who has had a lot of money struggles prior to this time that is coming. And unfortunately, when we have a situation where our finances or whatever area of our life where we've struggled a lot, we ascribe meaning to it. We start to define ourselves or our life based on that circumstance that we experience, or the difficulty that we've had. And it's so very important for you to know that you're going to have a turning of the page moment over this next 4 years, meaning that there is newness on the horizon for you as far as your finances go. But you have to be willing to believe that things can be better. One of the things that I'm getting is a lot of money mindset work. A lot of money mindset work is called for you, so that you can be able to see the things that are going to be improving financially for you. Okay. Another thing that I'm getting is, and this is not just about you, in terms of the economic conditions for you and around you for the country, one of the things that you're going to benefit most from is the fact that groceries are not going to cost as much as they used to. A lot of things that have gone up in cost a lot over the past few years. You know, we've been in this, what's it called? The inflationary time because of COVID. Coming out of COVID, there was worldwide inflation. And we here in America tend to only think about how it affects us. But the truth is that even though it affected us terribly, we actually started to pull out of inflation faster and in a more quickly and in a stronger way than other countries. Our economic recovery has been better, and it's going to continue to improve. It's going to get even better. We see this with the 9 of Wands, that we're moving on from things being bad. You've probably felt beat up in your finances. I'm getting for you is more than just that the groceries cost more, but you kept getting unexpected expenses that, as though that's not bad enough, having to deal with those expenses costs you more because we were in a period of inflation, because we were in a period of inflation than they would have cost you previously before we had gotten into a time of inflation. I'm also getting for you that there will be a big purchase for you to make, but there will be support for you in making that purchase. So this could be a home. You might be someone who has been living with family, or even if you were living alone, getting a lot of financial support from family or friends, or maybe having to work multiple jobs and still having a living situation that does not feel ideal for you. It's not your own. There's something about it not being your own here. So it's either that you're a renter, or you've been living with family, or you just been having to take so much financial help from family to support your own home that it feels like it wasn't. But I'm getting that moving to a new home is happening for you. Moving to a home that is yours is happening for you. And so part of how this is tied into the economic plan that Kamala Harris has, you're going to get to benefit from the new construction that is going to be started under her administration. More homes are going to be built. They're going to be more affordable because there's going to be more supply for those who want it. And there's going to be more funding available for people who want to buy homes. This thing here that we have about the daydreaming, though, typically, like when we get a message around daydreaming, it can be very easy and to just apply it to visualizing or seeing positive things, and that this could be an admonishment towards that. But for you, I'm really feeling strongly that this is about negative daydreaming, which is a thing that we sometimes do, particularly if we've gone through something very painful, stressful, frightening, because we get triggered to trauma response, and that trauma lives in our body. And so we can sometimes ruminate over that which didn't work, or that which hurt us, or that which we're even still dealing with. So you might not like be physically dealing with the bills in this moment, but you're constantly thinking about them, like even when you're at the movies, or you're taking a walk, or you're at your job, or whatever. And so here, again, it says, I think this might be the third time I've read this, having your head in the clouds can be a source of great inspiration, but be careful when your fantasies become an escape from reality. So sometimes what can happen when we have the negative ruminations or the negative daydreaming, we don't realize that we're actually getting a payoff from that. Everything that we do it because we feel like there's a payoff. And the payoff in worrying, the payoff in ruminating about something, even something negative, is feeling as though we are in control. Feeling as though, yeah, we're handling it or taking care of it when we're actually still just in our head about it. And sometimes we're doing that to such an extent that we're not actually taking the steps needed to deal with reality. So for you, because I am getting very strongly this thing about a home, it's about getting out of your head about why you can't have something or how stressful your finances are or how bad things have been, how expensive things have been, and instead putting your mental focus on starting to research getting that home. Because I am getting that over these next 4 years, that is going to be very, very possible for you. But you have to allow space for it. One of the things that's going to help you is some of the tax credits that are coming through, as well as that lowering of the grocery prices, which I mentioned earlier. So that's just going to mean more money in your pocket and feeling more stable. One of the things that you're going to benefit from, specifically from Kamala Harris, is this $25,000 towards the down payment of a home. This is something that she is going to be giving to you. And this is going to help you get the house that you want. I'm getting for somebody here, maybe a few of you, you're also going to be expanding your family. And there's a tax credit towards helping with the first year of costs for your baby. That is going to be something you're going to qualify for as well. So you're going to get the money to help you with your down payment for your first home. And you're also going to get the child tax credit that's going to help you cover the cost for that first year of your baby's life. For others of you, you're not getting both. You'll be getting one or the other. You're going to be getting, and for you, it's going to be the housing help. Whether it's the buying for, I'm really getting new home vibes here. So it's going to be the money towards the housing costs, towards the down payment for the home. And then for those of you who don't have a desire to have your own home, because some people don't want that, right? Some people would prefer to live in rental situations for various reasons. Rental costs are going to be coming down for you because there's going to be an ending to this thing where corporations have been going around buying up all the rental properties and jacking up the prices. This has been harmful to renters. And so if you're someone who likes renting and wants to stay in that situation, the benefit that you're going to get during those 4 years is specifically around that. And to the extent that you're also going to get to change your home and go to a new environment, because you're going to be able to choose one that you like better, that feels better to you, that's more in line with where you would like to live. Because in choosing where you're living now, you might have been hamstrung a little bit about what was affordable for you because of that corporate takeover of the rental market that we've been seeing over the past few years. But again, this Nine of Wands is telling us that hard time is over. And it is time to move on. All right, so this is what I have for you guys today. I'm going to put a link in the description box to the economic speech that Kamala Harris did just a week ago. It was either last week or the week before. She spoke in Pittsburgh detailing her various policies her economic policy and the various, I guess policies is still the right word, right? Yeah. I mean, I don't know. But anyway, what she wants to do for you and for me, the ways in which she wants to help the middle class that are part of her economic plan. She gave a great speech on that just recently. And one of the things that I love about her as a leader is she does a great job of breaking things down in digestible ways that are very easy for us to understand. So be sure you do your own research, click on those links so that you can see her talk about that. And then also check out that debate. If you didn't already see the debate between her and Donald Trump, it was during the presidential elections. I tend to watch every single debate. I did miss the VP debate this year. I didn't see that one. But as far as debates go, I say that just to say to you, as far as debates go, this one was the Kamala Harris, Donald Trump debate was actually quite fun to watch, as well as very informative. So definitely check those out. In the meantime, I'm so glad that you have found my channel, and I love bringing you messages about your money. Take care. It's all going to get better. Okay? Bye. Hey, y'all. If this message found you, or if you found this message today, it is because there's a very important message that you need to receive about your personal finances and what they're going to look like over the next 4 years, or something in regard to your personal finances over the next 4 years. Now, I'm saying personal finance, but really it could be your career, which of course is personal finance, or your business as well, okay? We will find out as I pull the cards, which we're about to do right now. So the first deck, that we are pulling from is the Money Manifestation Wealth Oracle. And you guys got freedom of location. A truly prosperous life is one with freedom to travel and freedom to live in the locations that you desire. Interesting. I did just get a hit on what that probably means, but I do want to go ahead and get the rest of your cards first before I start interpreting. We're pulling next from the Universal Weight Tarot. Let's see what you get here. The Four of Pentacles. Very interesting. Pulling now from the Tinseltown Tarot. Yeah, that initial hit I got, I feel, is Justice. You got the Justice card. And then finally, somehow these, don't these all feel like they go together? They absolutely do feel like. I mean, yeah, because, we've got a crown here and he's wearing a crown, and then she feels very queenly for sure. Okay, finally, we are pulling from the Wild Muse Oracle by Vanessa Samoyana. Upside down. Okay, yeah. This is clearly saying that over the next 4 years, one of the things that you can look forward happening to your finances is the elimination of debt. You are going to be free from debt that has been weighing you down for a long time. Definitely getting a sense of you paying off consumer debt. So this feels much more like it is about consumer debt. So that would be things like store credit cards, or just buying a lot of stuff on your Visa, your MasterCard, Discover, American Express, if you happen to have that one. More so than it's specifically about student loan debt, or even a house, unless it is a house that you are upside down in your mortgage in. But overall, it's debilitating debt that this message seems to be about. During the 4 years of this upcoming administration, you are going to have the opportunity to pay off that debt and start having more of a sense of freedom, clearly freedom in your life. So that's freedom in where you get to live, how you get to live, what you own. I'm getting very much a sense of letting go of stuff. So one of the things that's going to help you get out of this debt that you have is letting go of things. There is something that came to mind as soon as I said that you hold on to for some reason. There is probably an emotional tie to it in some way for you, but it is holding you down. It is weighing you down. So again, it might be a home. I'm getting very strongly, someone owns a home that they thought was their dream home. They absolutely were excited about getting this home, but it has turned to be more of a nightmare to own or live in that home than a dream. That is not the only example, but that's the one that came to mind. But something that it could be like, if you're that person that absolutely has to have the first iPhone, the next iPhone as soon as it comes out, or something like that. But I'm definitely getting something around being tied to a material possession in such a way that if you would just let yourself let go of that thing or that habit around that thing, you would immediately begin to make your finances better. I'm also getting that for some of you, there is going to be more of a leveling out between what you earn and what you spend. You are going to start receiving more fair pay. And so that increase in income is going to help you bring down some of this debt. But for the majority of you, there's a lesson here about, and I hate to use that word because people don't like that word. Nobody likes the word lesson. But there's a message. Let's call it a message. A message here around the choices that you make and making some different choices in order to free yourself from that debt. I'm getting to tell you, so there's two schools of thought around how to pay off debt, all right? The people who are strictly money people, like they make their living advising people financially, or they, are accountants, which I guess is the same thing. But the people that are like you think of them as a numbers guy, they will say things like, pay down your highest interest rate debt first, because that makes your money more efficient. You want to pay less in interest rather than paying more in interest. And so the thinking is, and it's sound thinking, pay down the highest interest rate first, and then move on to the card that's got the next highest interest rate, and then move on to the card that has the next highest interest rate. So you go down, down, down in terms of the interest rate, right? However, let me tell you what worked for me. That didn't work for me. I was not motivated by that method for paying down debt because my highest interest rates were on my largest debts. So the credit cards that had the highest balance had the highest interest rates, right? And so again, if you're just looking at numbers, it totally makes the most sense to take that down first. But because it was so big, I never felt like I was making progress. And so I was not motivated. I did not do it fast. It didn't feel fast, And because it was so big, it means that the interest kept growing and more money kept, building up. The balance kept getting larger. So what I did instead, and what I feel you're being advised to do here, as far as your consumer credit goes, those consumer cards, pay down the smallest balances first and cut those cards, okay? Because you're going to get such a sense of accomplishment. You're going to feel like a winner. You're going to feel like you're doing the right things as you watch that balance go down to zero. So say, for instance, you have a credit card, regardless of what its interest rate is, you have a credit card that the entire balance is only $300, but you've got this other one over here that is $550, then you got this other one over here that's $1,500 or whatever. Start with the smaller one first, because as you pay that off, you're going to realize, I owe less money now than I used to. And then cut that card so you don't use it again. And then you go to the next biggest balance. That is the method that I found worked for me. And it feels as though that is what you should be doing as well because of this upside down card here. All right. And then also, it's going to help you more quickly have this balance between what you earn and what you spend. Because right now it is not balanced. What you earn is not covering, unfortunately, what you spend. And you tend to feel, understandably so, economically insecure a lot because of that. So the interest rates, the Harris economy that you're going to see during her administration, these interest rates are going to continue to come down. They have been down. They were lowered recently, I should say, by the Fed. I'm getting that there's going to be a decrease in interest rates again happening at various times throughout her 4-year administration, and that you should really take advantage of those times. Right? Because that's when you want to increase how much you're paying towards that debt. While the interest rate is lower and you're increasing how much you pay towards it, it helps you reduce that balance even faster. If this sounds a little confusing to you and you want to do a one-on-one session with me, you absolutely know how to reach me. But yeah, the reduction of debt is what is going to happen for you. And your finances are going to be more balanced going forward as a result of that. All right. This one was a little bit of tough love, but hopefully you also got some really great insights as to how you can start to make your situation better and feel free, right? Because debt is the opposite of freedom. Debt is financial imprisonment, and it does reduce our options when we are hindered by debt for sure. And one of the things that you're going to get to experience as you pay down that debt, as you make yourself more financially free, is getting to choose where to live, getting to choose to move to a different city if that's what you want to do, getting to choose to just move to a different home if that's what you want to do. But right now you feel as though you can't because you're weighed down by these financial obligations you have to these creditors, you know? So during the next 4 years, you're going to come out from under that and you're going to be free. You're going to turn the whole thing upside down. You're going to turn it upside down and it's all going to be better for you. Better and balanced. For sure. All right, so I will be putting links to Kamala's economic plan speech that she did just last week, I think it was. I'm going to put a link to that in the description box here so that you can hear the details of her economic plan, because she's got all kinds of cool things in there that are going to be beneficial for all of us, but especially people like you and me. You know, she's got tax credits in there. She's got plans for lowering groceries. She's got ways to help with housing costs in there. She's got tax credits for people who are starting families or growing families in there. And then definitely, you know, one of the things that a lot of people are excited about is that she wants to increase the minimum wage for those of us that work on a minimum wage level. And the taxing on tips, no longer being taxed on tips that you earn, right? So check those out. The links are in the description box below. She's a great speaker and she speaks in a way that we can all understand what she's talking about. I highly recommend you not just listen to what I say or take in what we see here at the cards, but, you know, take a listen. See what you like. I guarantee there's something in there for you. And I'll also be putting a link to the presidential debate between Kamala Harris and Donald Trump so that you can hear her speak in that one too. That was a very entertaining debate. A lot of debates are boring, but that one was actually quite fun. So you should definitely check it out. All right. This is what I have for you today, you guys. Thank you guys so much for being here, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye. Hey, y'all. So if this message found you, or if you found this message today, it's because there is something very important that you need to know about your personal finances over the next 4 years. I didn't say that right. Let me say that better. There is something very important that you need to know about your personal finances that you will see unfold over the next 4 years. So, and this is especially true if you're someone who doesn't typically follow politics and yet this message came to you. It definitely is something for you to check out. So we are going to begin by pulling from the Money Manifestation and Wealth Oracle. The first card you got is Obligations. You have some prior contracts or commitments that still need to be fulfilled before you can completely move on to the next stage of your journey. That is interesting. What are you up to? What is going on with you? Cannot wait to find out more. Next, we're going to pull from the Universal Way. I mean, that just seems so cryptic. It's like, ooh, you got to finish this first. Ooh, that flipped. You have the 8 of Pentacles. I love that card coming out as we are looking at your future. For sure. Yeah. For sure. And then now we're pulling from the Tinseltown Tarot. Let's see what comes through for you in this one. We have the 9 of Pentacles. I think I know what this is. Yo, listen, your next 4 years is looking really, really, really good. Really good. Okay, and then finally we're going to pull one more and then I will begin to interpret this for you. Yeah, there's so much good happening here. Queen of everything, for sure. Okay, so here's what we got. And there is definitely a second pile in here for you. Let me just start by saying that. You're going to get to start your own business. You are going to start your own business. And this is actually going to be your dream business. So for you, and I should actually probably take back what I said about there being a second pile in here for you. There may be, this is how I'll put it. If you were drawn to another pile, check it out. But if you were not, no. Because, don't. Stay here. Because, all right. So Calm down, Sean. Just talk to the people. What you have here is not just that you're going to be starting your own business, but it is your dream business. It is something that you have been working towards your entire life. It is a way in which you have always known you were going to spend your adulthood, even before you had any understanding of how that would be a business or something that you could make money at. It's the thing that you are called and drawn to do. It is very, very rare, very, very rare that people's calling is the same as the way in which they make money. I think this is by choice, even though a lot of times we don't realize that. People tend to separate the idea of calling because they think of it as spiritual from the idea of making money, which they seem to think of as being less than spiritual and therefore something that needs to be kept separate. Like it's wrong somehow to merge the two. But I believe, and you believe, and your cards here indicate the universe believes for you that these two go together. The thing that you are most meant to do, care most about, love to do, that have always wanted to do, you can't keep yourself from doing, whether you're getting paid for it or not, that thing, that's the business that you're going to start. And this does feel very strong, like a self-validation thing as well. And I'm getting that from this queen of everything energy, right? Because you can be in charge of a business and not necessarily be queen, you could be king. But this queen of everything energy seems to be talking about the fulfillment of the self and the validation of the self as part of going in this direction and starting this business during these next 4 years. And the reason why I say that is because typically speaking, and speaking in generalizations, women don't do that enough. We don't get validated enough in life, and therefore we don't validate ourselves enough in life. Whereas men don't see, look, you can have the most no count fool out here doing whatever, and he still thinks he's the greatest thing since sliced bread. And that's because it's the message he gets all of his life. That's how it typically is for men. Whether they are actually great or just great in their own minds, they don't tend to need a lot of validation from others, or at least they don't articulate it very much, I should say, because they do need it. They need it desperately. But they like to come off like they've got it all together all the time, like they're so smart, like they're great at everything. And they definitely rarely feel as though they have to defend themselves or like they don't have a place at the table or a right to speak. Women, on the other hand, we do struggle with these things historically. And so there is a validation for you in choosing this business for yourself, choosing to move forward with it. Now, what we have here, if we're reading left to right, as we do in a book, we clearly have an indication here that there is something that you have to finish up first. And this might have come through in your message today because you are chomping at the bit to move forward. You are ready because this is something you are naturally gifted at. So you came out the womb ready to do this. But it's also something that you've been committed to learning and growing in. A big part of it is because of feeling like it was something you enjoyed and it's fun for you. But another part of it is just that you couldn't stop yourself, you know? Because you are naturally good at it, you got kudos for it. Or, and this was the case for me in an area of my life too. You knew you were supposed to be doing it. You could feel it. You loved it. You wanted to do it, but you didn't get that validation. You did not get people saying, hey, come and do this over here for me because you're so good at it. And then you developed the ability to validate yourself that way. And you kept going, even though you weren't having it reflected back to you that you were any good at it. You just kept going. You kept working at it. You kept getting better. You kept getting better. So this 8 of Pentacles is applicable to all of y'all. Whether you're someone who was told you were great and you kept working at it and kept doing it, or you were somebody who was not. The key is you couldn't quit it. Remember Brokeback Mountain? How I think it was Jake Gyllenhaal's character said to Heath Ledger's character, I wish I could quit you. You couldn't quit it. You could not quit this thing. And it is time for you to start contracting on it. With the 9 of Pentacles, I'm getting more of a contractor energy than I am getting a start a business energy. And let me differentiate that for you in case, owning your own business is something that's new for you. Or the idea of, if you haven't done any research around that yet. So contractor is when you provide a service. That service could be something like doing hair for people, or it could be acting services like what I do. And so you get hired by people to do this thing, to do an activity, and they pay you for that. Contracting can also be create a product through the service. So for instance, my guy is a 3D animator. As if you follow this channel, you already know. He's a 3D animator. So if he gets hired on a contractual basis, the action he's taking is creating something, a visual asset for the person who hired him. So he's providing that service, but they end up with the product of the art he created. So contracting is the way that I'm getting for you to monetize your calling, okay? And then the difference is like starting a business, and this is what it does not feel like you're supposed to be doing yet, not during this 4-year time frame, is when you actually hire other people to work for you, and you typically have like a brick and mortar establishment, or it could be remote these days. It could be remote, but there's something where you have employees that you have a tax responsibility for and all of that. And oftentimes it has to do with a location. Now, this is not necessarily saying that you have to just have a service-based business. You might be you may be someone who creates something like being a handmade artist. Like you create crafts, or I guess it's all crafts. I don't know. It could be, or jewelry or something like that. And that's, and you would be what's called a handmade seller. And you could still do that on a contractual basis, or owning an Etsy shop, which I don't advocate for many reasons. And if you ever want to know, again, just drop me a message and I will tell you why I don't actively sell on Etsy anymore. But anyway, again, instead of having a whole business where you have like a team of people working under you, so you manage a bunch of people and then they manage a bunch of people, this feels very much like contractor work for you. And whether it's a service or product based situation, because like home shows, those would also count as the same kind of work as contractor work. And a home show, for any of you who don't know what that is, that would be like selling Avon or selling Mary Kay, Crystal House. A lot of those traditionally female-based home businesses, whatever your calling is, you are being called to do it where you are providing something to one or two other people at a time. So that's not to say that you can only have one customer or you can only have one client. You can have many, but you are working with them individually instead of it being that you've got this whole business. So for your taxes, you would be filling out a Schedule C, and I'm getting in the weeds here a little bit, but the point that I'm trying to make is you would be a sole proprietor, as opposed to having like a LLC, which is limited liability corporation. You would be a sole proprietor as opposed to a corporation. I hope that was clear. And then of course, if it's not, feel free to do a one-on-one counseling session with me. I would love to or consulting session with me. I'd love to talk with you about this, because I'm very excited for you that you're going to get to bring your calling into your real life in a way that brings you money, and it's going to be very successful for you. We see that with this 9 of Pentacles, and we see it with this Queen of everything. And in case I haven't said it yet, one of the biggest benefits you are going to get from Kamala Harris becoming president of the United States is that $50,000 tax credit that she is going to be giving to people who start their own businesses. This is going to help you with the cost of establishing and or running your business. This is very exciting for you. I'm very excited for you is how I should really say it. Very excited for you. But we can't ignore this right here. So remember, this be sure that even though you're ready to make this move, be sure that when you leave the situation that you're already in, it's probably the way in which you're already making money, that you do it in a respectful way, that you give them enough notice. Because I'm getting that for some of you, these people will become your clients. The job that you do for them now, when you stop being available for them in this way, you can tell them that you are going to start your own business providing these services for multiple clients and customers because you really feel called to do so. And you can say to them, I would love for you guys to be my first client. And what that will let you do is change the nature of the relationship from you being their employee to you working for them on a contractual basis. And they become your first client. So you want to make sure you leave this work situation in a good way, not leaving that don't burn bridges, or as I have been known to do, burn the whole damn town. Don't do that. Okay? Don't do that. All right, you guys. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put links to two things in the description box for you. I'm going to put a link to Kamala Harris's economic policy speech so that you can check that out for yourself and get more details about the things that she is proposing to offer to the middle class so that we can become financially strong or maintain our financial strength if you've been feeling that slip away from you. And then I'm also going to, and it's a very easy to understand speech. She does a great job of telling us her policies in a way that is very easy for all of us to understand, to digest, right? Very clear. And she's also sometimes funny, which is one of the reasons why I like her. She's smart and she's funny. And then I'm also going to put a link to the presidential debate between her and Donald Trump so that you can hear her talk about some of her other policies that she wants to implement as president of the United States. It is a very entertaining debate. I know it's supposed to be informative and not necessarily be fun television, but somehow this year they managed to make it both. So you should definitely check that out, particularly if you were demoralized by the Trump-Biden debate, which apparently bothered me so much, I blocked out the fact that I had even seen it. Justin had to remind me that we watched it together. I just forgot. All right, you guys, this is what I have for you today. Thank you all so much for being here, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.